So, a few years ago, during mediation, my ex-wife and a lawyer suggested that we hire a therapist so the kid won't blame themselves for the divorce. And these were their own words, so the kids won't blame themselves for the divorce. And of course, I want the best for my kids. So I agreed. But what I didn't know at the time was that they had an agenda. They had an agenda. Anyway, I suggested that all four of us, my ex-wife, myself, and my two kids, we attend therapy sessions together. They refused. They refused that suggestion. They wanted the kids to attend therapy session alone by themselves. But again, I wanted the best for my kids, so I said, okay, no problem. But I know that if all four of us attend therapy session together, that will bring positive clinical outcomes to the kids. I mean, that's a given, but they refused that suggestion. So I was to take the kids to therapy session 1 week, just a couple days a week, and she was to take them the following week. So she actually sent me an email saying that she takes the kid to therapy, but she does not go in with the kid, which means that the kids attend a therapy session all by themselves without their mother. But that's not what the therapist note says. The therapist note states that the mother forced herself into therapy session with the kids. The kids did not want her there. She forced herself into therapy session against the kids' will. I'll put up her email on the screen so you can see it for yourself. So she forced herself into therapy session. She lied to the therapist. She lied to the kid, telling them that I was going to kidnap my own kids and take them to South Africa and never to bring them back again. So I was going to kidnap my own kids, take them to South Africa, and never to bring them back again. Understand that I have never been to South Africa, and I don't know anyone in South Africa. As you can see, therapy was based on falsehoods. Therapy was based on falsehoods. So she was actually emotionally abusing her own kids. Emotional abuse is a crime. My ex-wife and a lawyer also hired a garden ad litem. So they hired a therapist and a garden ad litem for them to write an indicting report against me, so they can use them and testify in court against me. That was the agenda, and I didn't know anything about it at the time. So the garden ad litem report was filled with falsehoods. There was nothing true in the garden ad litem report. I was very lucky at the time. The judge on the case at the time recognized what we were doing. The judge ignored the garden ad litem report. She was so concerned that she hired a lawyer. The garden ad litem was so concerned that she hired a lawyer. That has got to be unprecedented. The garden ad litem did not believe in my culture. So she wanted to deny my kids part of her heritage. That's the sickest thing I ever seen in my whole life. That's the sickest thing I ever seen in my whole life. The garden ad litem fabricated a report and filed it with the court. She fabricated evidence and filed it with the court. That's a crime. That is a crime. I don't like talking about the garden ad litem because every time I think of her, I feel like puking. So here's what I'm going to do. I wrote a book about the case. Chapter 4 actually relates to the garden ad litem. So I'm going to put a link in the detail area, and you can go and read about the garden ad litem for yourself. Anyway, it gets even worse. So my mom was admitted to the hospital for palpitation. So I filed emotion with a court so I can go and visit with her. So my ex-wife lawyer filed a motion with a court for me to provide my mother's will. I want to repeat that. My mother was admitted to the hospital. She was not deceased. She was just admitted to the hospital. So my ex-wife lawyer filed a motion with a court for me to provide my mother's will. That is sick. That is sick. And these are lawyers practicing law in the state of Florida. You have to be extremely severely morally bankrupt to do such a thing. I used to think of law as a noble profession. I don't know what to think anymore. What my ex-wife lawyer doesn't know, and that I know, is that maternal love is universal. The love we have for our mothers is universal. The love she has for her American mother is the same kind of love I have for my African mother. One more thing about these people helping my ex-wife emotionally abuse my kids. So I had a family member visiting from Georgia that I was taking back to the airport. So my younger daughter was bawling. She would not stay in the car. She wanted to get out of the car through the windows. She didn't want to go to the airport. Can you see what they did to my kid? She thought I was kidnapping her because I was taking a family member back to the airport. So my kid thought I was kidnapping her. Look what they did to my kid. And these are lawyers practicing law in the state of Florida. And nothing is going to happen to them. Absolutely nothing. This is my last point about the lawyers. So I filed a petition for child support modification because my daughter turned 19. So I wanted to take her off child support. And of course, my ex-wife knew that a source of income would be cut off, because she doesn't want to work to make money. And so she hired a lawyer, a dirty lawyer, a crooked lawyer. So this lawyer advised her to quit her job and apply for Social Security disability benefit. And she did. But the only problem was her own doctor's clinical finding refute a claim of disability. And at the time of the trial, Social Security had rejected her application. But the judge on the case still ruled in her favor. The judge on the case still ruled in her favor. And that's not all. They also manufacture evidence. They fabricated a document and filed it with the court. The judge admitted that document. In fact, he used that document to calculate retroactive child support payment that they claim I didn't make. So I have to pay her close to $200,000. I don't even know the amount. It was so ridiculous. This is like white privilege on full display in a Florida courtroom. They talked to each other. They were having conversation with each other. I didn't know about any of it. There's no way I could have won this case. My fate was sealed to lose this case. The judge put aside the law. He put aside the evidence. He put aside the facts. He put all that aside and ruled in favor of a white woman. There's no way I could have won this. The outcome of the trial was predetermined. The trial was fixed. And nothing is going to happen to these people. Nothing is going to happen to these people. They're all white male, with power and connection. Nothing is going to happen to them. My only worry is this. I've put them in an untenable position. They don't know where to go. So they can actually manufacture evidence against me. The judge had already threatened to send me to jail without any provocation whatsoever on my part. And I'm telling you, nothing is going to happen to these people. The lawyer, actually, one of my former lawyer actually mentioned that this lawyer my ex-wife hired, his employees email each other. Every time they email each other, there is a charge. So they pass that charge along to the client. In other words, they cheat their own clients. So this guy is not actually running a law firm, he's running a mafia. He fabricated evidence and filed it to the court. He advised his client to quit a job and apply for Social Security disability benefit. All those are crimes, but nothing is going to happen to this guy because he's a white male with tremendous amount of power and connection. This notion of equal justice for all in this country just doesn't exist. It just doesn't exist. And nothing is going to happen to any of these people. So I'm taking you, the American people, as my witnesses in this case. You're my witnesses. You're my witnesses. Let's make sure something happened to these people. Let's make sure these people get investigated. And thank you for your support. And thank you for listening to me. Here's what I'm worried about now. I've put these people in an untenable position. They're stuck. They don't know where to go. So they can manufacture evidence against me. This happens every single day in courtroom across the country. Here's what they did. They closed the case without my knowledge. They didn't tell me. And they opened a new case. So they closed the case and opened a new case. So I actually had to file a motion and pay to reopen the case when I found out. And now they lock the docket. So if you log in, you cannot get access to the document in the docket. What are they hiding? And the new case they open, although it says open, I don't have access to it. This is a case that concerns me. This is a case that concerns me, and I don't have access to it. What are they hiding? This is problematic. These people have power. They're white. They have connection. That's why you have so many innocent black people in jail. The judge actually threatened to send me to jail without any provocation whatsoever on my part. So I'm taking you, the American people, as my witnesses. I'm taking you as my witnesses. I don't have any power. They have all the power. Please share my video, and I thank you for your support. Thanks again.